So for today's Zoom lesson, we're going to mainly just go over some stuff from the Q3 midterm that you took online last week. Really important stuff in this video, so make sure you just watch the whole thing. Take a second, try that do now question. Once you're done, hit play. All right, so right away I see GK is 24. GK's the whole line is 24. All right, HJ is 10. And then the really important information is these three segments are equal. G to H is equal to I to H, and that's equal to JI. So since all those are equal, I see that that 10 line is cut in half. The 10 is cut into two equal pieces. So these two pieces got to be 5 and 5. That also means since GH is equal over here, this piece is also 5. So I figured out HI is 5. JK, I still need JK over here. Now, if we have 5 plus 5 plus 5, that's 15 for that part of the line. And I have a little left to get me to the whole thing, which is 24. 24 minus 15 is 9. So this missing piece has to be 9. So JK is 9. Then I could just figure out I to G. IG is here to here. Okay, that's 10. 5 and 5. And IK, the other way would be 5 and 9, which is 14. So just a quick question that I want to show you. It's going to be related to the question we do today in class and then the exit ticket. So the big thing that I want to go over in this lesson is notes formatting. So I just put it here. So make sure in your notes you're drawing the diagram, you're doing your work line by line, and you box and circle your final answer. And you'll see why in a second here. On our quarterly or our midterm that we took last week, our average percent correct was 42 out of the 50 students that took it, which is a little worse than we normally do, and I'm going to explain why I think this happened. One reason is we had spring break the week before, and a lot of people had Zoom issues on Tuesday when we did a review, so I feel like you had a week and a day off and then just had to take an exam, and that was really hard, so don't be too hung up on this 42%. And I want to give a quick shout out to the people, top 10 scores, Tony, Ayana, Naja, Lexi, Juan, Jesse, Justin, Kyle, Anika, and Wade. These are all scores before the curve, which is really impressive. Awesome job, guys. And some honorable mentions, the next group of 10 students, Robert Kamara, Catherine, Sanea, Marley, Kaya, Taylor, Shania, and Jason. Really good scores as well. Again, way above the average of 42. So all these people did a really great job. If you didn't get in this top 15 to 20 people, you still did all right. And I'm going to show you your actual grade in Power School by looking at this next page. So we curved it a little differently for this quarterly. The top 15% of the class, the top 8 students got 100. The next 8 got a 95. So it was more based on where you fell in terms of the class than your actual score on the test. So the lowest you could have got was a 75, unless you didn't take it because you missed it or if there was like a cheating issue. So all the scores were above 75 when you look. And we really wanted just to reward you guys for putting in the effort for the first online exam. This was a real big change, and we know it was tough and a lot of challenges. But by the end of the week, we figured it out. And since ours was the first day, I think there's a few more issues. So I want to make sure you guys didn't get hurt too bad. So if you go and look at your Q3 grade on Power School, you could see your quarterly score and where you fell in terms of the score and what percent you were in. But the quarterly helped us teachers figure out a lot of things. First, so if you missed less than a week, less than 6 online classes the past month, those students had an 85% on the quarterly, which is really good. 85% on the quarterly. But students who missed 6 or more Zoom classes had an average of 64%. So right away, what this is showing us teachers is people that come into Zoom are learning way more than people that do not come into Zoom. So if you're missing Zoom classes, you're missing learning, and you're doing way worse than everyone else. And why this is important, realistically, we probably won't be coming back to school till May or maybe June or maybe not at all this year. So the next month of school is definitely going to be online and maybe even a little longer. If you're not coming to the Zoom calls, you're not going to do well and you're not going to pass and you won't get Regents credit. So we're going to make Zoom mandatory. We want you to learn. We want you to do well. We want you to get Regents credit. And we're noticing right away, people who Zoom are doing well, people who are not don't do well. So starting next week, Zoom class is mandatory. Zoom class will be mandatory, and this is how it's going to be graded. If you're there all 5 days on Zoom on a typical week, Monday through Friday, you'll get 100% for a quiz at the end of the week. If you miss one class, you'll get an 85% on your quiz at the end of the week. 2 classes, 75. 3 or more is a 65 or a failing grade. So we just want to really make sure you're coming into those Zoom classes and keeping track because those are the students who are doing well. So it's going to be mandatory. If for some reason, say you have a doctor's appointment or some really big issue important comes up, email me so I know and communicate what is the problem, why you can't get on Zoom, and we could work together on that. But for everyone, it's going to be mandatory. So one of the biggest issues on the quarterly was some students not showing up in Zoom and not learning as much, so our average was brought way down. So that's why Zoom is mandatory. The second issue is if I look at the lowest performing questions on the quarterly, it was the part 2 questions where basically these were about even, 6 and 15. But basically the part 2s are the worst. And then I looked at people's pictures they submitted and noticed why. I also noticed like some people didn't upload a picture. So you automatically got 0 points for question 14 and 15. If there was no picture, no matter what you put on the online assessment, I can't grade it. So there's no grade. You get a 0. And then some people did submit work, but it looked like this. And if you're a teacher and you got a grade question 15, if you saw this, I don't know which question is which. I don't see any final answers circled. It's really hard to tell what's going on. So today's lesson is just how to do your notes and how to submit tests and pictures of tests to make it easier for teachers. And if you were taking notes or doing classwork, you're not going to be able to look back in a week and look at this and know what was going on. It's a lot of crazy, messy work. So let's look at a question and I'm going to show you how I do it. So here's my question 15 from the quarterly. And I want to just point out some things about how you should format your notebook when you're doing schoolwork. This will help you when you get to college because we don't at Uncommon, we hand out packets and it's organized for you. In college, you're just going to have blank pieces of paper and you have to organize your work. So when you finish a question, leave some space right here before the next question. Make sure you label what number you're on. And then you don't have to write out the whole question, but you got to write out the important information. So this question actually says in the test, in the diagram below, FE is congruent to DE, congruent to DC, congruent to AB. So you don't have to write down in the diagram below. That's kind of a waste of time. But write down the important stuff. They give me this. They tell me what these lines equal, and I want to find DB. So I draw the diagram. I label everything I know. And then I do my work. And I go line by line. That means you write your equation. Then you solve going line by line. Once you finish, you have what x equals. Then go and just make sure you answer the question. We had to find d to b. Well, if x is 10, d to b is this line. So since these are equal, this is also 2x. So it's 2x plus 2x for D to B. So 2 times 10 plus 10 plus 2 times 10. And then I'm going to solve it, and I'm going to box that final answer. Because if a teacher was grading this, they see all my work, so I'll get my partial credit. And they see my final answer, which is correct, so I'll get full credit. Compare this, I know I highlighted it now, but compare this to the student work that I showed you before where it was all jumbled up and messy. It's really easy to see what you did for the question and what your answer is. So for today's exit ticket, I really just want to focus most of our work on setting up questions correctly. So I want to see that you label the question. So exit ticket number 1. Draw the diagram. So draw that rectangle. Do line by line work. So if you just do those 3 things, you will have an 85% for today's classwork. If you solve for X correctly, you get another point. You'd have a 95. And if you get that final answer correct and box it, you would have 100. So that's what I'm going to grade it on. Do this exit ticket on a separate sheet of paper. Take a picture and upload it to our Google Classroom for the Quarter 3 IA analysis exit ticket.